everyone, this is Anne-Marie from Alma Surfside. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, I have an Etsy shop where I sell handmade surf and beach inspired jewelry, and I also have an Instagram account which is Alma Surfside 7. So if you want to keep up with my latest work, be sure to check out both of those accounts. And of course, I've been doing a lot of beading tutorials here on YouTube. So if you haven't already done so, please take a minute to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on any future tutorials. So for today's beading project, what I'd like to go over is a pendant, or you can make this into a set of earrings. And what I've used here for this project are pearls. I've used Superduos, I've used 2 sizes of seed beads, and that's it. So you don't need a lot of supplies to create this pendant or earring. And in terms of materials, what you're going to need for this project is fireline. And I always use 6 pound or 0.006. So that's going to be the fishing line that I'm going to be working with. And the next supplies that you see there on my beading mat are Superduos. And these are Opal Aqua Matte. Okay, so they've got kind of a translucent finish to them. They're sort of a baby blue color, and but yeah, there's like a milky color that you see that goes through the bead as well. So those are really beautiful. I'm going to be working with these today. And the next beads there on my mat are 4mm Preciosa pearls, and these are in the color cream. Okay. In the third pile there on my mat, you see size 11 seed beads, okay, by Toho, and these are in galvanized silver. Okay. And finally, in the fourth pile there on my mat, you see size 15 seed beads, and these are in galvanized silver as well. Okay, and again by Toho. If you're doing a pendant, you're going to need a jump ring, and of course, if you're making a set of earrings, you're going to need 2 earring hooks. Okay, but for today, we're going to be doing a pendant for a necklace. And it's also helpful to have flat nose pliers just to work with the jump ring. And you'll need scissors to cut your fishing line as you go. Okay, so gather all of your materials and let's get started. Okay, so to get your pendant project started, what you're going to do is cut yourself an arm's length worth of thread. Okay, enough to work with to get started, and you don't want to have too much thread so that you're getting all knotted up in your work, but enough that you're comfortable working with. And you're going to attach your beading needle, and I've already put on the first sequence of beads that we're going to be working with today. Okay, so what you see on my thread there are 3 Superduos, 1 pearl, another 3 Superduos, 1 more pearl, 3 Superduos, and finally another pearl. Okay, so a total of 3 pearls and 9 Superduos on your thread. And you're going to move those down to the very bottom. And what we need to do at this point is to tie a knot. Okay, so make sure you do a double knot so that it's nice and secure. Okay, and I'm making sure that everything is sitting nice and tight. Okay, so that's what you want to have. You want to have a circular shape with your knot all tied off, and then you can cut off the excess thread there at the bottom. Okay, because we're not going to be working with that for the remainder of the project. And get rid of that thread. Okay, put it to the side. And what you want to do at this point is to reinforce that shape. Okay, so you're going to go through the bottom hole of each of the Superduos, and you're just going to work your way around. Okay, so I'm going through the Superduos there on the right hand side of my pendant. Now I'm going through the pearl, 3 more Superduos, going through the pearl, three more Superduos, going through the pearl. Okay, so I've made my way all the way around the pendant, and now I'm exiting the pearl on the right hand side. I'm going to move my needle down the 3 Superduos sitting there on the right hand side, and I'm also going to go through the next pearl as well as one of the Superduos. Okay, so let me do that right now. Okay, so I'm now exiting the Superduo that's sitting there on the left hand side of the pearl, and I need to put my needle through the other hole of the Superduo, this one right here, because we're going to insert 3 Superduos below. Okay, so that's just going to get me in the right direction so that I can add on 3 more Superduos at the bottom. Okay, so 3 Superduos on my needle, and I'm going to go through the bottom hole of the Superduo that's sitting on the right hand side of the pearl. Okay, so that's what gives the shape to the bottom part of our pendant. Okay, and now what we need to do is to get our needle back up to the top hole of that Superduo that we're working on right now, and we're going to move our needle in the opposite direction. Okay, so my needle is inserted there in the top hole, okay, of the bead sitting right beside the pearl, and I'm going to go back up. Okay, so going through Superduo, pearl, Superduo. Okay, pull tight on your thread, and I'm also going to go up the other 2 Superduos there, okay, that are sitting right beside that one. Okay, there we go. I'm going to flip my shape so that it's easier to work with, and I'm going to insert my needle into the top hole of the Superduo that's sitting there by the pearl. Okay, so at this point what we're going to do is we're going to fill in all of the gaps in the bottom section of our pendant with size 11 seed beads. Okay, so you'll notice here what I've done is 1, 3, 5, 3, and 1. So those are going to contour the very bottom part of our pendant. So you're going to grab one of your size 11 seed beads, galvanized silver. Okay. You're going to go through the bottom hole of the Superduo. Okay, now you're going to pick up 3 more of your size 11 seed beads. Okay, and you're going to go through the bottom hole of this Superduo that's sitting there at the bottom. Okay, so I've skipped the one that's right beside it, and now I'm going through the third one sitting there at the bottom of my pendant. Okay, so you want to have the 3 sitting straight across. Okay, again, skipping the one in the middle. Now I'm going to pick up another size 11, and I'm going to go through the bottom hole of the next Superduo. Okay, right now I'm going to pick up 3 more of my size 11s. Okay, and I'm going to go through the opposite side of the duo that I'm coming out of, right here. Okay, so that's just going to allow it to sit there on the tip of my bead. Now I'm going to pick up one more size 11, and I'm going to go through the next hole. Okay. I'm going to pick up 3 more size 11s. And I'm going to skip one of the Superduos and go through the next one. Again, the bottom hole. Okay, so you see how that's coming together? And now we just have one more size 11 to fill in that final gap. Okay, so that's contouring the bottom part of your pendant. All of the gaps are filled in. Again, we have 1 seed bead, 3, 5, 3, and 1. Okay, so that's what you want to have. And now what I need to do is I need to go into the top hole of the Superduo that I'm coming out of, and I'm going to work my needle around the inside of my pendant until I reach the Superduo sitting there at the top right. Okay, so you want to be going through the top hole of that Superduo. So let me get started. I'm going to do the turnaround right here. And you want to probably go through 1 or 2 Superduos at a time. Okay, work your way around slowly, and again we're going through the inner hole of all of these beads. Okay, now I'm ready to go through the pearl. Okay, so after you go through the pearl, you're going to go through the 3 Superduos that are adjacent to it. And now you're going to go through the top hole of that 3rd Superduo in that row. Pick up one of your size 11 seed beads. Go through the next top hole. Okay, you're going to need one more size 11. Go through the next hole. Okay, so that's what you have. Go back down on the inside of your pendant, so go through the 3 Superduos sitting there. We're going through the opposite hole right now, just so we can climb back up to the top. Okay, I'm going to put my needle through this hole here, as well as the size 11 seed bead. And now I'm going to pick up a total of 7 of my size 15 seed beads. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. And I'm going to insert my needle through the size 11 and the Superduo that are sitting there on the other side. Okay, so my working thread is coming out here. I'm skipping the Superduo in the center and inserting my needle through the size 11 and the Superduo on the left. And you pull on your thread. Okay, it's probably a good idea to reinforce all of those beads so you can repeat the same steps by going down the inside of your pendant. And then again going through the top hole as well as the size 11. And I'm just going to go through all of the beads that I just added on. That just helps to make it stronger. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's the final pendant there. That's our design. And if you want to go through the bottom part of your pendant through all of the seed beads sitting there at the bottom, that would be good just to help reinforce it. But if you're happy with the way it's hanging and it's nice and strong, you can finish off your piece by doing a knot. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do now. I'm coming out of the Superduo here, and so I just need to get my thread into one of the beads below. Okay, now that I'm exiting the lower hole here on the inside of my pendant, I can create a knot by putting my needle through the other side. Okay, right here. And I'm going to pull tight, make sure it's nice and snug. Okay, and then I can cut off my excess thread. There we go. Okay, so we've reached the end of our tutorial, and if you're making a pendant, the last step is just to get your jump ring and make sure it's open, insert it into the top of your pendant, and you can actually add your necklace at this point. So I have a silver chain here, and you can just add it into the jump ring and then close it up. Okay, so that's what the final pendant looks like, and of course if you're doing a pair of earrings, you're going to do that all over again. Okay, and that's what the earrings would look like together. Of course you're going to use earring hooks instead of the jump ring. They're at the top. Okay, but it's the same concept. So we've reached the end of our tutorial, and I really like how the color scheme works together. I think it's, you know, a very frosty, icy theme of cream, light blue, and silver. So it's very winter appropriate. And yeah, I hope you enjoy wearing this pendant or the earrings. So if you haven't already done so, please take a minute to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And make sure that you turn on all notifications so that you don't miss out on any future content. And yeah, that's it. Okay, so anyways, we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye for now.